Hello everyone from Curry Senior Vitality. This is Josie with Community Tech Network. And in this video today, I'll be going over podcasts. So what they are, how to find them, how to listen to them, and other features of the Apple Podcasts app, which is already installed on your iPad. So first off, let's define podcast. A podcast is digital audio content. And most podcasts are released in episodes, perhaps monthly, weekly, or even daily. It's a lot like listening to the radio, but with podcasts, these episodes are available online for you to listen to or download at your convenience rather than just turning on the radio and listening to whatever is currently broadcasting. Once we go into the app, we'll take a look at the different kinds of podcasts available to give you a sense of the huge variety of subjects. So Apple's podcast app is this purple one here with the eye, and it should already be installed on your iPad. And if you have an iPhone, you probably have the podcast app on that as well. So let's take a look. Now, I haven't used this app for a while, so it's telling me a little information just about what's new since the last update. So I can just tap on continue. So next I want to point out these different buttons or tabs across the bottom of the screen. So when you first open it, you'll be in this Listen Now section where I can find the episodes that are up next. And this is based on the podcast that I listened to. So these are certain podcasts that I've listened to before, so it's recommending the newest episodes for me. And beyond that, you can scroll down and see different categories like you might like, education, more to discover. So it's just a great place to find recommended podcasts. And you can also scroll left and right within some of these categories. So if I just swipe left, I can browse through other podcasts that you might like, or tap See All. And you'll see that some of these are shows and some are specific episodes. So for example, The Moth is a podcast show, but if you scroll down here, these are examples of specific episodes. And you can tell that because it'll have the little play button and it will show you how long this episode is. And if you find something interesting, you can just tap on it for more information. So this shows the name of the podcast, has the rating, sort of what it's about. It's a performing arts. And there's a little description of the podcast below. So you can always tap on more to open the full description. Sometimes there will be a link to their website. And now this is interesting here. So generally, podcasts are free to listen to. Sometimes, though, you'll have to either listen to ads throughout the podcast from the sponsors. And in some cases like this, podcasts will promote premium subscription. So you could pay something monthly to get ad-free podcasts. And sometimes you can get special access to some features. So maybe they'll have basic episodes available to everyone for free, but if you subscribe and pay something every month, you might get exclusive content. Once you're on a podcast's page, you can scroll down and see the episodes. You can certainly just scroll through these and see it shows you the date of when each one was released. So it seems to be showing us newest episodes on top, and there's also a See All button here. So you could go back and start at the beginning if you wanted to. Some podcasts are sequential and you really should start at the beginning. Maybe it tells a story. But other ones are just sort of on a general topic and each episode is its own separate thing. So you can just pick any one at random or based on what looks interesting to you. So moving on, let's check out the Browse section at the bottom. And this is a great place to go if you're not sure what to listen to. It has recommendations, seems to be showing trending podcasts, new and noteworthy, top shows, top episodes. So this is kind of a a fun place to discover podcasts if you're not really sure what to listen to, or different sections here, like, binge-worthy, for example. However, you may already have a certain podcast in mind. So in that case, we've got this search button here at the bottom. And the search page is also really conveniently organized so that you could choose by category, or tap at the search bar and type or say, using the microphone, the name of the podcast. So just as an example, one podcast that I heard of recently was called Rabbit Hole. So you type it in and tap search. And as you can see here too, there's search within all podcasts or search within your library. So you want to make sure you have all podcasts selected there. And in this case, there are several podcasts with that name, but I believe this is the one I had in mind. So again, here is my description, the rating. It shows who produces this podcast. A handy little button here to start the first episode, or you can scroll down. So from here, if I wanted to listen to it, I could just go ahead and tap, and it will start to play, I believe. Let me turn my volume down. So it's going to show you your progress through the episode. And as I said, podcasts are just audio, so there's nothing to watch. And podcasts are great for listening to while you're maybe washing dishes or something like that. And also, as the podcast is playing, you don't need to stay on this page. My volume's turned down now, so you can't hear it, but I could go ahead and go into Safari or Facebook or do anything else, and the podcast would continue to play. And there's also the handy tool in the control center where you can pause it. So let me go back in there and show you also that when you're in the middle of an episode, down on the right side of this bottom bar will kind of be this little player control section. So it shows you what you're listening to. There's the black triangle to play or pause. Oops. This would skip forward 30 seconds, and you can see it also opens up this side panel, so you could change where you are in the episode if you want to skip forward. This will skip you back 15 seconds if you got distracted and you missed the last little thing. There's a volume control section here if you don't want to use your actual volume buttons. And there's even the option to change the playback speed. So let's say you're trying to really get through something quickly, you could actually increase the speed of the playback. This would connect you to any speakers you might have, if you have a Bluetooth speaker. And then the 3 dots give you options here, like to share the episode, save the episode, etc. So that's kind of the basics of playing a podcast. But let's say I listened to this first episode and I really liked it. What I recommend doing then is subscribing to the podcast. So up in the top right here, I'll just tap on the plus sign. It's sort of loading. We'll give it a minute. I guess in the meantime, I'll show you. Again, remember that 3 dots always will open some kind of menu. So this is where you can follow show, which is basically what I'm trying to do. Share it, copy, report a concern. So this is a little bit stuck right now for some reason, but in the meantime, I can show you what happens when you subscribe to a podcast. So down here at the bottom again, remember we went over listen now and browse, but then library is the best place to go to find all these podcasts that you've subscribed to. Okay, and this is what your library looks like. In my case, I have already subscribed to several different podcasts. So they show up here, and you can see if you have this little menu open on the left side, you can always hide that or show it, depending on how you prefer the layout. But right now I'm looking at the shows section. I could tap on any one of these, like the daily, and it will show me the newest episodes. Within any one of these two, again, if you see this purple check mark, it shows, yes, I have already subscribed to this podcast. And when I tap the three dots, I get options like to unfollow the show. Let's say you decide, actually, I don't really love this show. I don't need it in my library. And other things here you can do, like episodes you've already played, you can have them hidden just to kind of keep it cleaner. There's also remove downloads, different things like that you can do. And then I'll just press this back arrow. Also on the left side here, we've got saved. So if you remember when you were looking at a particular episode, there is an option to save it. They would show up here. So just maybe you really, really love an episode, or you want to share it with somebody later, you could save it to find easier. Then we have downloaded. So that's a great feature where the episodes are downloaded, so they're saved to your iPad. So let's say you're going on a trip somewhere, you won't have Wi-Fi. No problem, you can just listen to these downloaded episodes without internet. Of course, they do take up space on your iPad, so don't download the episodes if you don't need to, or if you find yourself running short on storage, you can remove the downloaded episodes here. And there's also latest episodes, so this would be based on the podcasts you subscribe to, showing you what's new. You can see some, like The Daily is an example of one that I listen to. They release episodes every day, and some of them are pretty short. Other podcasts can be maybe an hour or more, so it really just depends on what you're listening to. And I'm just going to jump back to the search section just to show you really briefly how many types of podcasts there are. There are so many different kinds, and there are a lot of podcasts produced by different celebrities, actors, writers, and so whatever you might be interested in, you can definitely find a podcast related to it. So you could always just go ahead and find, true crime. And by the way, true crime podcasts are very popular. So I definitely encourage you to explore what's available and see what you can find, because there's some really, really great podcasts out there. There are also quite a few podcasts that are pretty educational. You can see there is an education category here. But one I wanted to point out is called Yale Open Courses. Let's give this a moment to load. These are really great. So Open Yale courses have, they're basically lectures in the form of podcasts. So you could explore, there's a huge variety of topics here. Like, let's say you like psychology. You could go through and learn a lot from these podcasts. So it seems to have all kind of foundations, and you can see each episode has a different topic. I'm a little confused by why it says 3 seconds. Oh, okay, that's interesting. So for some reason, there's a little glitch there where it says 3 seconds, but as soon as I press play, it changed to the actual time. So that's a cool thing you could check out. These Open Yale courses. And just a reminder, I have this handy little control down in the bottom right where I can pause it. So I hope this was useful. Again, this was the Apple Podcasts app, which looks like this. And this is only one of the podcast apps available. There are a lot of other ones. So for example, if you open the App Store and search podcasts, there are a lot of places you can get podcasts from. Doesn't really matter. But if any of you have maybe an Android phone that you want to listen to podcasts on, you can definitely do that without the Apple Podcasts app. There's Google Podcasts, Overcast, Spotify, which will come up in the next part of this lesson, Pocket Casts, iHeart. So lots of places to get podcasts. Generally, you don't have to worry about it. If it's one of those larger podcasts, it should be available on pretty much any of these apps. So I hope that was helpful. Check out the podcast app, and I hope you find something great to listen to. Thank you.